Everyone falls into one of the 4 categories of liver, adrenal, thyroid, ovarian. I'm going to show you each one of those, and we're going to go through, like I said, pretty quickly. The issue is that we almost never get to our sugar burning, okay? I mean, we almost never get to our fat burning. We're always burning sugar, and your body will always utilize the richest source or the best gasoline it can get, the highest octane, and that's sugar. Okay? So the only way that you will go into fat burning mode is when there is no sugar present. Okay? And what regulates that is your metabolism. And what I want to show you is there's 6 specific fat burning hormones and then 3 fat storing hormones. Okay? So obviously if you want to burn fat, you have to turn the fat storing hormones on. And if you want to store fat, you have to turn the fat storing hormones on, correct? Okay. So the food, for each body type, the type of exercise and the type of food you eat plays a dramatic role in that. So let's talk about what food is. In Webster's dictionary, it's a noun that says that which is eaten to sustain life, provide energy, and promote the growth and repair of tissues. There's already a typo. How did I not see that? I've written this. I've watched this like 5 times. Okay, I got to the 2nd slide. Ugh. Okay, and this is the definition that I made up, because it's what a lot of people think about food, right? U.S. definition: something I eat to get pleasure, to reward or treat myself with. Typically imitation or man-made and loaded with chemicals, hormones, antibiotics. High fructose corn syrup. I also prefer refined, processed, pasteurized, homogenized, void of any nutritional value. So basically, when you go into the grocery store, it's everything that's in the aisles, in the middle of the store, not the perimeter. And I'm sure you've heard that, right? Okay. So, food versus food crap. Here's a real easy way to identify the difference, okay? When you eat something, is it imitation, man-made, food-like substance? Will it add more life and health? Will this nourish and repair your tissues? Or is it food like crap? Isolated factors, does that word offend anybody? I hope not. Okay. Too late now, sorry. Isolated factors, like people ask me all the time about like protein, like they want to put protein in their drinks. Well, most protein that you buy, that you put in your smoothies, is isolated. It's a fraction of the whole protein, okay? Which is no good for your body because your body can't utilize it and absorb it. Synthetic vitamins. Most vitamins on the market, you're one a day for women, your Centrum, they're fractionated, which means they're part of the whole vitamin, okay? And I'll go over that more. We talked about it a little bit. And they're synthetic. And they're made from petroleum derivatives. And I remember I gave you that whole thing about vitamin C last time. Those of you that are here, and I'll touch on that again in a minute. But most vitamins aren't the whole vitamin. When you think you're getting vitamin C, you're not. You're getting ascorbic acid, which is a part of the vitamin C. And your body doesn't know how to utilize that. In fact, well, I'm getting ahead of myself. The problem with it is that your body doesn't know how to absorb it, and it literally steals nutrients to make that vitamin whole. So it's a piece of a puzzle. You ingest it. Your body has to take pieces of the puzzle from other parts of your body to make it a complete puzzle so that it can actually utilize it. Okay? And that's the problem with your one-a-days and your Centrums, and they're loaded with all kinds of chemicals so that it can be on the shelf for another 10 years. Because it's not whole food. Okay, refined sugars and carbohydrates. You know, all the food that you eat that says enriched, that means they pulled it out, super cooked it, put it back in, so it's worthless. It's dead nutrient. So your enriched breads, your enriched cereals, your enriched. It's a great way to increase shelf life, decrease cost, and to rob your body of health. Okay, essential foods. Essential means your body's got to have it, it can't make it. Okay, essential fatty acids, essential amino acids. Okay, amino acids are your hair, nails, eyes, muscles, joints, bone, and then of course fatty acids. And those of you that are practice members here know how much I preach on essential fatty acids, because it is the essential stuff for your cells' health. Okay, the cell membrane is made up of fatty acids, and if you don't eat those, and nobody eats them enough, your body makes your cell membrane out of trans fats, omega-6, which is pro-inflammatory, omega-9, and I'll say this again, it bears repeating. You're made of 75 to 100 trillion different cells. I've never counted them, but that's what it says in the books. So this is the cell membrane. Inside the cell membrane is the nucleus. Inside the nucleus is the DNA. So the DNA is that squiggly thing, remember? Okay, and it's got all these dots on it, and those are your genes. Okay, so a message comes to the cell membrane, and the cell membrane has these little windows in it, and the little windows are the receptor sites. So your body gets a stimulus, like food. Okay, you eat food, it causes your cell membranes to turn on that stimulate digestion. So we think that we get sick because we have these bad genes from our parents, but genes are turned on by your lifestyle. That's why the cell membrane is so important, because if the cell membrane isn't healthy, the messages don't get inside the cell, to the nucleus, to the DNA, to the genes, to turn on the healthy gene, which means your body doesn't adapt to your environment as well, which means you can't be as healthy as you otherwise could be. That's why it's so important to get omega-3 fatty acids in your diet. So it's your wild game, it's the wild-caught fish, and it's taking omega-3 fatty acids. Okay, super important. Cell membranes, brain tissue, nerves, it's so important for kids growing up, for pregnant women, and for nursing women, because the brain isn't fully formed till 18 years old. And the number one most needed nutrition for especially in utero and neonate is the number one nutrient for neurological development, and that's fatty acids or fats. It's the number one food source for the brain. So, essential raw materials, your fatty acids, amino acids, whole food vitamins in their natural state, minerals, and enzymes. And by the way, those of you that take if I've never explained this to you, the reason why you get the cattle in and it doesn't say 100% vitamin B, 100% vitamin C, and D, and E, because you can't measure it without killing it. So if you take the whole food stuff from the plant life that make up the cattle, which is the whole food multivitamin we have, and you measure the amount of the nutrient in it, to do so kills it. It makes it dead. See, these whole food vitamins are raw, unprocessed, uncooked in their natural state. Big difference. Minerals and enzymes. Okay, so here's the 7 key principles. 4 body types we're going to go over tonight. Hormones control metabolism. I really want you to get that. Metabolism, not the number of calories eaten, determines your weight. Did you hear that? It's not how much you eat, it's how well you burn it. Low calories and hunger triggers the fat-storing hormone stress response. That's why not eating breakfast is awful for you. That's why fasting, well, 2 or 3 day fasts, right, intermediately are okay, but for regular lifestyle fasting is not good, which means skipping meals, okay? You have to be healthy before you can lose weight. Stubborn weight equals unhealthy hormones. When your body won't release fats, that means you have a hormone issue. It's the survival mechanism of your body. You see, your body doesn't care if you're an ovary type or an adrenal type or a liver type or a thyroid type. It doesn't care where it's storing the weight. All it knows is that if it's under survival, your body's number one job is to keep you alive, so it's going to store fat to keep you alive. It doesn't worry about your health when it's worried about keeping you alive. It's fight or flight and healing, growth, and repair. You can't be in both. Let me explain that. Okay, so your autonomic nerve system, the part of your nerve system that controls everything, all your organs and glands and blood vessels, is broken into 2 distinct branches, the sympathetic branch and the parasympathetic branch. Okay? Sympathetic branch is fight or flight, keep you alive. Parasympathetic branch is healing, growth, and repair. Okay, the leading physicists in the world have proven that you can't be both. You're either in healing, growth, and repair, or you're in fight or flight. Okay, and the people that are in fight or flight tend to store fat because the body is in survival mode. Okay, 4, environmental hormones and chemicals that mimic hormones. Meat and meat products that are loaded with growth hormone and estrogens from animals that are pumped full of hormones. Female products with xenoestrogens in them. I think we talked about this a little bit last time, but if you use any product that tells you about how young you're going to look when you use it, anything that's anti-aging, it has hormones in it. So don't use it. Because it's an endocrine disruptor. Endocrine disruptors mimic, block, and disrupt the normal function of hormones in the human body. Number 5, you must heal glands and hormones to keep weight off. So that little diagram there shows the keys to turn on the battery, to utilize the fat battery to burn versus the sugar battery. And unfortunately, most of us are running on sugar, not fat. Fat burning and fat storing hormones have their own triggers. Good quality sleep triggers fat burning hormones. Alcohol triggers fat storing hormones. Specific body types require specific exercise. Okay, so I'm going to go over the 6 good hormones. There's really no bad, but the ones for fat burning, okay? So, growth hormone. Everybody's heard of growth hormone. There's another typo. Can you see it? How did I not see these? Ugh, they're so obvious right now. Okay, growth hormone's made by your pituitary. It's a gland in your brain. It works through the liver. Now, you're going to see this over and over and over again because I wanted to show you how important it is that no matter what body type you were or are, this is why we spend so much time healing your liver, okay? It's made by the pituitary. It works through your liver. Growth hormone is responsible for fat burning and lean muscle building. Key function is building up cartilage and collagen. It's an anti-aging hormone that the body makes, not that's made by some chemical outpour. Adrenal stress inhibits the stimulation or release of growth hormone from the pituitary gland. Years of stress, lack of sleep, bad food, low-calorie diets, even hardcore exercise, people that don't let their bodies recover, puts you into adrenal stress and shuts down growth hormone. Pain and inflammation, overactive adrenals all inhibit the growth hormone. Which I think that's why I'm an adrenal type, because I biked way too much. Okay, insulin-like growth factor is another one. It's made by the liver. It's triggered by growth hormone. Insulin-like growth factor is responsible for maintaining your blood sugar levels in between meals. It's stimulated when your stomach is empty, and this is one of the main reasons why a liver type shouldn't snack between meals. So when you get that information from me and I explain to you if you're a liver type, you eat 3 good meals, you don't snack, it's because of insulin-like growth factor. 3, glucagon. Raises blood sugar by tapping into fat reserves. Sounds good, right? That's what we want to do. Okay, it's the opposer of insulin. Controls blood sugar between meals. Stimulated by protein and intense exercise. Excess protein causes insulin spike and blunts glucagon. So you're going to keep seeing anything that stimulates insulin. Insulin's the bad guy. Anything that stimulates insulin shuts off all your growth hormones or all your fat-burning hormones. Insulin's not really the bad guy, you need it obviously, okay, but when it's stimulated too much is what obviously works through the liver. Number 4, adrenaline, main hormone that releases fat from fat cells. Triggered by exercise, works through the liver. Also the main hormone for stressful situations, fight or flight. You want to release adrenaline when you need it, like during exercise, okay? You just don't want adrenaline being released 24/7 because that completely shuts down your adrenal glands, and then you wind up with all kinds of adrenal problems and hormone problems. But it's great for exercise and other stressful situations. So there's a difference between eustress and distress. Distress is bad, eustress is a good stress on the body, like exercise. Number 5, thyroid hormones, T3 and T4, control your speed of metabolism. They trigger the metabolism by increasing size and number of cellular energy factories that are mitochondria. Mitochondria, remember I talked about the cell? Well, not in the nucleus, but out in the cell cytoplasm is where the mitochondria are. And the mitochondria are what make the energy for the cells. They get it and grow. So the more mitochondria, the bigger they are, and the more you have, the more efficient metabolic engine you are, the more efficiently you burn fat. That's why hypothyroidism causes weight gain, and why cutting calories and skipping meals inhibits. 80% of thyroid function occurs through the liver. And that's why thyroid type and liver types are so similar. Okay? If you have a liver problem, it always leads to thyroid problems. The last is testosterone, made by the testicles, adrenal glands, and ovaries, builds lean muscle, increases sex drive and male characteristics, stimulated by exercise, countered by estrogen, works through the liver. Everything, all hormones are either developed through, by, or work through the liver. That's why the liver is so important. It does over 500 things in the human body, but one of the main ones is hormone function, regulating it. Okay. The 3 fat storing, insulin, made by the pancreas, lowers blood sugar after meals, needed energy absorbed into the cells. The rest is converted into fat and cholesterol, which is why most diabetics wind up having cholesterol issues, or usually have cholesterol issues, and then as the problem progresses, you wind up having diabetes. Works with IGF and glucagon to maintain blood sugar. So both of those regulate, IGF and glucagon regulate blood sugar between meals, and insulin during after meals. You cannot burn fat when insulin is present, and it's triggered by what? Sugar. So not just sugar, corn syrup, anything that's simple sugar, and that's why you have to be careful with even things like fruit, because fruit triggers it. 2, estrogen. Women have 1,000 times more concentration of estrogen receptors compared to men. It provides the fat layer around the female body, especially hips and thighs. Why? So that you can make people, right? Ovaries and fat cells produce estrogen. And that's how women keep their estrogen levels optimized after menopause, because your fat cells also create estrogen and make estrogen. Estrogen dominance is an epidemic because of diet, xenoestrogens, hormone replacement therapy, and birth control. It's literally rampant in females. And estrogen dominance means that you have a ratio of estrogen to progesterone, and when that ratio gets out of balance, your body has relatively more estrogen than it should have, and it is the environment in every single female who has polycystic ovarian disease, ovarian cysts, uterine fibroids, fibroblastic breast tissue, later in life menopausal issues like hot flashes and inability to sleep and all that stuff. Okay, it's all related to a dysregulation of the normal cycle of estrogen to progesterone. And then cortisol, produced by the adrenal glands, activated by 3 types of stress: chemical stress, physical stress, emotional stress. Cortisol releases sugar from muscle liver into the blood. Some consider it a fat-burning hormone, but it's really not, and here's why. Because you get stress and it breaks down muscle, breaks down primary leg muscle, butt muscle, which increases sugar. So your body needs sugar, so it goes to the muscle to get it when cortisol is released. Okay, and it breaks muscle down into sugar, which is one of the reasons why adrenal types need more protein than other types, so that you stop attacking your own body. Breakdown in muscle, increases in sugar, stimulates insulin, and when it stimulates insulin, what does the body do with the sugar? It stores it in the belly usually, especially if you're adrenal type. Okay, so we're going to take the quiz. Okay, and this quiz, the way you answer it is going to tell you likely what body type you are. Okay, now here's the people that don't have to take the quiz. If you've had your gallbladder removed, if you have a history of gallstones, if you can't lose weight on a high protein diet, if you dislike consuming heavy protein type foods, if you can't digest fatty greasy foods, or especially worst at night, if you have a history of liver problems, if you've got a hard pot belly, you're a liver type. You can still take the quiz you want, but you're a liver type and you're wasting your time. So we're going to hand out the quizzes. Okay, so here's the way it works. Whatever you have the most of, you're likely that body type. But I'm going to give you a little asterisk here, likely. Okay. And the reason I'm saying that is because you may find that you're a thyroid type, and you may even have a thyroid type body, but it could possibly be from a long-standing ovary type. And I'll get more into that later, okay? And that's just one example. Okay, so if you have mostly A's, you're thyroid. If you have mostly B's, you're adrenal. C's is liver, D's is ovary. Everybody get that?
What was it again? Say it one more time.
No. It's whatever you have the most of.
So A's were thyroid, B is what?
B is adrenal. C is liver. D is ovary. No.
I answered 2 of these, so that pretty much told me that I was a liver type. But then look, when I get a liver type, that's my last one.
Oh, yeah, but no. Okay, so let me clear that up, and then we'll move on. The reason why, if you go back to that slide, if you had any of that stuff, you're a liver type, because even if you have other stuff going on, until you heal your liver, you'll never. Okay.
That makes sense.
Okay, let me say that again. Okay, the reason why you may not look like a liver type, okay? But go back to everything I just said about all the fat storing hormones and all the fat burning hormones and how important it is to have a healthy liver. If you've had any of this, you don't have a healthy liver. So for now, you're a liver type. Get it? Does that make sense? Okay. Okay, so does anybody not understand where they are or what they are right now? Good. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so the adrenal body type. Buffalo, here's some just of the more common characteristics. Buffalo hump, that's up here on your upper back. Moon face, red face, belly fat, soft belly fat, hangs over your belt, not the hard protruding belly. Cortisol, the reason is because cortisol breaks down leg and buttock muscles. Cortisol destroys body proteins. Osteoporosis, muscle problems. It uses bone and muscle as fuel. A lot of muscle cramping. You don't do well on a high protein diet. But you need frequent protein throughout the day, but if you eat a lot of protein, your body will break it down for sugar and you'll get fatter. That's why you don't do well on a high protein diet. Must be no sugar in your blood. Sugar triggers insulin. So you have to eat small amounts of protein between meals to stop body from eating itself. Raw nuts and seeds are a really good source of snacking. In women, it causes a deeper voice, facial hair, male pattern hair loss, acne that's worse with your period, atrophy of breast tissue, because all because of the androgens, okay, sex hormones. Excess androgens stimulates the production or the loss of potassium, which causes alkaline pH. So you've lost potassium, which is a positive, okay, causing alkaline pH, which inhibits calcium into the bones and muscles, which causes the osteoporosis and cramps. So that's why people that are adrenal type wind up with osteoporosis, and they get a lot of leg cramps and a lot of full body cramps, okay? And because there's still a lot of calcium there, it's just not in the tissue, it's on the tissue. It causes things like tartar on your teeth, heel spurs, arthritis, all the itises, okay? Bursitis, tendinitis, and even arterial sclerosis. Calcium on the tissue. So here's what you need. Leafy green veggies are the best source of calcium, not milk. Causes poor sleep, cortisol, the sleep-wake cycle. So cortisol is responsible for waking you in the morning. So it's highest at 6 to 8 in the morning, and then it goes like this throughout the day, okay? And if it's like this at 2 in the morning, what's going to happen?
Crash.
You're going to wake up.
Oh, yeah. So
if you wake up at 2 or 3 in the morning, you're probably an adrenal type, okay? Or at least you've got significant adrenal stress. You get addicted to caffeine, you crave sugar, salt, especially the combination of the two. Worst at night, dark circles under your eyes, brain fog. Fatigued adrenals can't stimulate anti-inflammatory hormones, so you have a lot of sore muscles. Like if you work out, it takes you forever to get over a workout. You're sore forever. Soreness in tendons and ligaments, inflammation, fibromyalgia. A lot of fibromyalgia people are adrenal types. Okay, chronic inflammation, and that's what fibromyalgia is. Okay, blocks fat-burning hormones. It causes blood vessels to contract and relax. It causes all blood vessels to contract except for the blood vessels that go to your heart and your lungs, which is why they get out of breath very easy, because they're not getting enough oxygen and blood to them. Because remember, adrenal type, adrenals, fight or flight. Okay, so that's why the contraction of the blood vessels. You don't deal with stress well. Adrenal hormones suppress the immune response, so you get sick a lot. Okay, so the adrenal hormones, what causes it? Taking prednisone or steroids. Taking synthetic vitamin C causes adrenal types. Taking synthetic vitamin C breaks your adrenal glands down. So this is what whole vitamin C is actually made of. It's made of the vitamin P, K, and J factors, copper, and this is tyrosinase is an enzyme. But when you look at your regular vitamin C and you turn it around, what does it say? Who knows? Ascorbic acid. Okay? It's not made of ascorbic acid. It's made of ascorbic acid with P, K, and J factors, which are vitamins, and then enzymes and whole copper. So, if you take this, your body steals all this from the rest of your body to make vitamin C. And a lot of the vitamin C in the body is stored in the adrenal glands, and that's why it breaks down and can cause adrenal body type problems. Chronic adrenal gland is a storage center for vitamin C. So other things that can cause it is viral infections, yeast or fungus infections. They actually get trapped in the adrenal glands. Adrenal glands have a very rich blood supply because they're sitting right on top of the kidneys, and they'll go there to hide out. Okay, and they can wreak havoc on your adrenal glands. And then living a lifestyle, eating junk and taking lots of stimulants. Caffeine, appetite suppressants, sugar, nicotine, synthetic vitamins, herbal supplements, and drugs. All deplete vitamins and minerals when they're taken out of context or the way they should be, and as well as refined sugars and grains. So there's some symptoms of the adrenal type. Big things are sleep, a lot of anxiety and stress, allergies, atrophy to the legs and butt, breast, high blood pressure, lax ligaments, Weak, brittle bones, need coffee to wake up, especially late afternoon, you need something to pick you up. Then it causes fibromyalgia and fibromyalgia-like symptoms. Ovary type. Ovaries and fat cells produce estrogen. Estrogen creates fat layer, mostly the hips, buttocks, lower abdomen. Symptoms include PMS, cyclic cravings. If you're ovary type, everything's cyclic. Bloating, cramps, excessive bleeding, low back pain or knee pain on the side of the cycling ovary. Environment, what causes it? Environmental hormones is one of the leading causes. Okay, birth control, hormone replacement therapy, beef, poultry, farm-raised fish, fed growth hormone and estrogens, DDT and pesticides, which is basically all the junk we spray on our vegetables and stuff that we eat. Right? I went over all that last time, right? DDT. Yeah. Okay. So those are the DDT hasn't been allowed in this country for years, but still, in 99% of children that were tested between the ages of 4 and 15, it's in their blood. How could that be? Somebody tell them. Because we sell it to countries that we buy our food from. Plus it's got a half-life of like 1 trillion years, so it's still in our soil. I made that up, but it's got a big half-life. Ovaries increase production of estrogen, increasing fat deposits around your hip, thighs, and abdomens. Ovaries shut down your own production. Your brain increases hormone production message to produce more, and that's when you get the cysts, the PCOD, polycystic ovarian disease, the fibroids, the tumors. Cysts make estrogen too, so it's this snowball that's just out of control. So until you get that right, and it feeds off sugar. Excess estrogen also inhibits your thyroid hormones, which is how you can be a thyroid type, but it's really an ovary problem. So you need to consume organic, hormone-free foods. This is important for everybody, but it's super important for the ovary type. Menopause stimulates the adrenals to make estrogens. If you have weak adrenals, then you have problems. So a lot of people won't have a lot of symptomatic problems with ovary problems until they hit menopause. And when you hit menopause, your fat cells continue to make estrogen, but the only other gland that makes progesterone is your adrenal glands. So if your adrenal glands aren't working right, then you have all the menopausal type symptoms. So where was I? Hot flashes, night sweats, vaginal dryness and itching. Lack of message from adrenals to brain stimulates the sweating and hot flashes, which is why taking HRTs gets rid of them. Hormone replacement therapy gets rid of the hot flashes because it reconnects the circuit. But the problem continues. So HRT helps hot flashes because it completes the artificial circuit back to the brain. Too bad it causes stroke, heart disease, cancer, and liver disease. So when you think ovary type, think cyclic. Cyclic everything. Fatigue, brain fog, pain in the lower back or knee, lowered libido, acne, mood swings, constipation, thinning of hair, depression, cravings, as well as night sweats, hot flashes, infertility, cramps, heavy menstrual bleeding, and all that. Thyroid type. See, most people, you're thinking, and I put these up, so you can look normal and still be a thyroid type. Thyroid controls metabolism, rate at which body burns food, and changes it into living tissue and energy. That's what your metabolic rate means. Thyroid types have a creepy, crawly metabolism, super, super slow. Distinct feature, Susan? Distinct feature is feeling more awake in the morning but ready for bed by 8 p.m. So she gets up at like 4:30 in the morning, but she's ready for bed at 7.
Like now.
Yeah, okay. That's a huge feature for knowing you're a thyroid type. Excess fat and fluid more evenly distributed. So the difference between the thyroid type and the adrenal type is the adrenal type has skinny legs and skinny arms compared to thyroid type, which deposits weight, fat in the legs and the arms as well as the abdomen. Other distinctive features: dry skin, brittle hair, loss of the outer portion of the eyebrow, slow metabolism, decreases your body temperature, so you got really cold hands and feet, especially when you're in the bed at night. Super cold feet in the bed, wear socks to bed, crazy starches and sugary carbohydrates. Excess carbs converted to fat and cholesterol. This is why it can lead to high cholesterol problems. Need for vitamins is greatly increased in thyroid types. Myxedema, which is fat and waist-like fluid weight. And that's why thyroid types and liver types tend to lose the most amount of weight on the cleanse, because they're losing a lot of myxedema, which is fluid. It's still great to lose it because it's toxic fluid, but that's why you lose so much more if you're liver or thyroid type. So, ADD-like symptoms, loose skin under upper arms, and then you can get vertical ridges on the nails. Now, you don't have to have all these symptoms for any of these types to have it. It depends on how severe you are, okay? And then the complicating factors we talked about. Glands work together. If ovaries produce too much estrogen, it causes the thyroid to reduce production of hormones. And just a couple references for you. Estrogen inhibits thyroid action in the cells, probably interfering with the binding of thyroid to its receptors. John Lee, a leading endocrinologist. Reduced thyroid function stimulates brain to stimulate more adrenal hormones. 80% of thyroid function occurs in the liver. If the liver is toxic, thyroid hormones will not be activated properly. Told you I was going to go fast, right? Okay. Causes of thyroid type. Poor liver function, #1 cause. T4 converted to T3 in the liver. T3 is the active form. Environmental factors including estrogen mimics thyroid hormones. Past infections, and again here we go. Viral and bacterial infections can influence the thyroid. Injuries to thyroid, whether it's chemical with radiation or you got hit in the neck. Sometimes people get a thyroid injury from a seatbelt in a car wreck. Baseball or a softball to the neck. I mean, there's more than you'd think. Another cause of thyroid type, and one of the main causes I believe, is estrogen dominance, which is why mainly you see women that are thyroid type. Primary ovary problems can result in thyroid body type. And then a big one too is low-calorie diets. Fasting or cutting calories stimulates thyroid to lower metabolic rate. Don't go hungry. It's important to eat throughout the day, unless you're a liver type. So here's some thyroid type symptoms: weakness, fatigue, generalized weight gain, sagging skin under your chin, arms, midsection, low pore appetite, crave bread, pasta, chocolate, sweets, high cholesterol, brittle nails, thinning, loss of hair, stiff, dry hair, puffiness around the eyes, outer portion of the eyebrow is absent, poor short-term memory and focus, depression, low body temperatures, cold hands and feet, loss of libido, loss of menstrual cycle, thickening of the tongue, indentations of the side of the tongue, and that's because your tongue's thickening, so it's getting pushed up against your teeth and it causes those indentations. That's why. Voice deeper and rougher in sound. Okay, the liver type. The liver is the body's filtration system. Filters dead cells, hormones, chemicals, bacteria, virus, fungus, and parasites. It's your septic system. Also acts as a digestive organ, breaking down fats, carbs, and proteins, makes sugar out of proteins. The main tool used by the liver to detox is sulfur. Eggs, cruciferous vegetables, raw garlic, and onions are super rich in sulfur. So remember I talked cruciferous vegetables, yes. Cruciferous vegetables are also anti-estrogenic and anti-carcinogenic. So great for ovary types and great for all types. Cruciferous vegetables are one of the leading superfoods for reducing your risk of cancer. Liver has over 500 known functions, including fat burning. So the liver type, pot belly that is fat and fluid caused by liver leaking fluid. The liver leaks fluid. Think about it like a sponge. So your liver sits here and it's just loaded. Overloaded, and it's like those big huge yellow car sponges that's just loaded with water and it's just dripping, and that's why you get those ascites in the abdomen and that pot belly watermelon appearance, like a water balloon kind of thing, because it's literally just leaking into the gut. Eating protein doesn't fix it though. You fix it by eating high quality proteins and lots of vegetables, especially cruciferous vegetables. No snacking between meals so that you stimulate growth hormone. Growth hormone is regulated between meals. Insulin regulates when you eat. Weightlifting is a great stimulant of growth hormone, and so is Sprint 8, which I'm going to give you a copy of that. That's the exercise for the liver type. So, here's some of the symptoms. Pressure and fullness in the upper right abdomen, because that's where the liver is. Uncomfortable to lie on the left side, because it's pushing down on the organs on the other side. Lying on right side is usually the most comfortable. Sensitive to fatty foods and refined grains, a lot of burping. A lot of big burps. Pain in low back, right shoulder, right side of the neck. Wakes 1 to 2 hours before needing to rise. That's pretty common. So if you typically get up at 6 or you like to get up at 6, you wind up waking up at 4 or 5. Morning is a struggle because you're grouchy. Because your liver is so shot that you can't regulate your blood sugar throughout the night. So you wake up grouchy, and then after you eat a little, you feel a little better. You're not as grouchy. Your urine's darker in the morning because your liver can't handle it. Arthritis and bad skin. Your fingers, because of the swelling, your fingers and other joints, but typically people notice their fingers, their hands swelling So it's really tight, really swollen, and uncomfortable first thing in the morning, especially after you eat a lot of grain the night before. Gluten, fatty foods are the enemy. That's for everybody, but really for the liver person. Gluten is the protein part of the grain. Only grains without gluten are rice, millet, spelt, and oats. Frequent bloating, constipation, acid reflux. Liver types love fast food. Let the burping and belching begin. Can cause high blood pressure. With advanced damage, it causes brown spots on the skin. FYI there, postmenopausal women with aging spots should take a ½ teaspoon of raw wheat germ oil. It really, to be amazed what that'll do. Light-colored bowels, female sex characteristics, fungal growth on scalp and toenails, itchiness that is worst at night, and a musty, sweetish breath odor. Causes of liver type: constipation, diet high in refined sugars, excess fats and proteins, virus and fungal infections. There's that one again. Satan drugs. That's not a typo. I really meant that. If you go up there and look real close, I printed statins, but I wanted you to know what I thought of them. Nutritional deficiencies, especially B vitamins. Refined foods deplete B vitamins. A great source of B is cataplex B and G. Processed fast foods are super high in MSG, and that's a big cause of it. So MSG, statin drugs, nutritional deficiencies that especially cause deficiency of the B vitamins, viruses, excessive fats and proteins. And there's some symptoms. Brain fog, grouchiness in the AM, finger joints stiff in the AM, dark urine in the AM. Those are some really telltale signs, along with the hard protruding belly. Spider veins, varicose veins, gallbladder problems. And gallbladder problems is also a big thing with ovary problems, because another thing that estrogen dominance causes, and I know you heard me say this, estrogen dominance causes the bile in the liver to thicken, which backs into the gallbladder, which causes, it's really not that far over there, it's somewhere in here, which causes the gallbladder to get toxic, which puts stress on the gallbladder, so they cut out the gallbladder. And it was never the poor gallbladder's fault. But they got rid of them. So the problem's still there. And the gallbladder is super important for emulsifying fats. It's the #1 organ used for your body to break down fat. And that's why people that don't have their gallbladder have significant issues, because they need, remember that big spiel I gave you that I talked too long about essential fatty acids? People that have their gallbladder removed cannot absorb essential fatty acids, and that's the thing that your cell membrane needs to keep you healthy, to keep the cell membrane healthy. Okay, so step 1. Most of you have done this. Some of you haven't, so I just want to share this with you. There's the 21-day cleanse, and here's an alternative minimum of 14 days on the day 1 through 14 cleanse protocol. You can add raw nuts and seeds, lentils, cruciferous complete, SB cleanse, SB complete. And then here's the big thing, and those of you that are liver types, you can still do this. A cranberry drink. Write this down if you're a liver type. First thing in the AM, before lunch, and at dinner time, you're going to drink 6 ounces of spring water with 2 ounces of unsweetened cranberry juice, 1/3 of a fresh lemon, 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. You can add whole fruit fiber if you want to. This is going to be online too, remember. 6 ounces of spring water, 2 ounces of unsweetened cranberry juice, 1/3 of a fresh lemon, 1 tablespoon apple cider vinegar. Drink it 3 times a day. It's great for the liver. Tastes like lemon and cranberry juice. Yeah, it's sour. But it's just 6 ounces, right? It's 7 ounces, whatever. Step 2 for the body type. It may not be black and white, because pretty much everybody in here is some type of mix. Okay? All 4 body types require the same basic foods. The only thing that changes is the fat and protein. No matter what body type you are, no matter how certain you are what body type you are, always add the protein slowly. Honor the healing phase. Because even if you're a type that requires, you think, more protein, you may feel worse on it. So you don't eat too much too fast. And you got to pay attention. That's what we talked about last time. Pay attention to the food you start eating, because if your energy starts to go down, you know that you added too much of something, and it's typically protein. Unless you're eating McDonald's, then it's very obvious, right? You shouldn't be doing that at all. Okay. Adrenal and ovaries. The adrenal type and the ovary type require the most protein. Judge the needed protein you need by the 7 indicators. Only move from liver to liver, thyroid to adrenal, ovary if the indicators say so. So what are the indicators? Your energy level. Moodiness, that includes moodiness, irritability, depression, lethargy, all that. Your sleep quality. If any of this goes down, then you went too far with your protein. Amount of sleep, cravings, overall digestion, inches lost, weight lost. If your weight in inches stop going down and you know you need to lose more, then you may have added too much protein. Okay? Protocol overview. You start with the liver enhancement. If you do this body type but you don't cleanse your liver first, you're not going to get anywhere, because everybody starts out a liver type, because we all damage our livers with the way we eat. Okay? High vegetable, no animal protein, low fat. Liver and thyroid have a high vegetable, low protein, low fat, about 25 grams of protein a day start with. Adrenal and ovary, high vegetable, higher protein, 50 to 75 grams, and moderate fat. Basic rules on the to eat for your hormone health. Avoid all artificial sweeteners. Okay, you can use small amounts of stevia, raw honey, agave, or tupelo honey. Avoid sweet fruit like dried, canned fruits like figs and raisins. Avoid grains. Oats and wild rice are okay. Okay. Avoid starches like potatoes, yams, and corn, super high in sugar. Eat lots of raw, whole, nutrient-dense, high-fiber vegetables. Don't let yourself get hungry, because what happens when you get hungry? Or you're like me and you eat whatever you can get your hands on, right? So don't let yourself get hungry. Consume appropriate protein for body type. Eat right amount and types of fat. Avoid gland blockers like caffeine, soy hormones and protein, and eat organic vegetables when you can. Avoid water retainers like MSG, high fructose corn syrup, glucose, Splendid, dextrose, all the artificial junk. Exercise for your body type. Reduce stress. Get plenty of sleep. 7 hours minimum. Any body type stuff you look at, they all say 7 hours minimum. Let's look at a couple different things. Vegetables for the liver. Cruciferous, that's your angel. Supports liver function. Thyroid. Half of the cruciferous vegetables you eat, you got to cook them. Okay, because there's a lot of iodine in cruciferous vegetables, so you want to cook them so that they don't hurt your thyroid. I mean, the pros and cons are so good. The thyroid person needs cruciferous. Just make sure you cook half of it. So cruciferous vegetables, again, are what? For those of you that don't know. What's a cruciferous vegetable? Broccoli, kale, Brussels sprouts. If it's a flower, it's a cruciferous vegetable. So broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, kale, cabbage, cruciferous. The most important thing for cleansing your thyroid with water. Cruciferous vegetables and water. Add prolamine, iodine, or trace minerals for the thyroid type. Remember I said thyroid types need supplements because of the metabolic rate is so bad. The adrenal type, lots of vitamin C rich veggies, cruciferous leafy greens. The ovary type, cruciferous veggies that are anti-estrogenic, which means what? Or no, they are anti-estrogenic, but ovary types have to make sure their veggies are what? Organic whenever possible. Because pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, all those sides are estrogen hormone blockers, mimics, okay? Proteins, liver, start small, 25 grams, and easily digestible proteins like fish and eggs. Avoid overcooked or roasted. Thyroid type 2, start with 25 grams because your metabolic rate is super slow and you just can't tolerate a lot of protein. Adrenal type 50 to 75 because of the destruction of body proteins. And same thing with the ovary, but hormone-free I think is important for everybody, but it's just super important for the ovary type. Fats. For the liver type, as little as possible. You need to. Coconut oil is the easiest to digest and the healthiest, especially with cooking. And flax and fish oil are okay. Thyroid, because of this, you have the sluggish thyroid, you can't break down fat, so little to none. Adrenals, adrenal hormones made from cholesterol, so you're okay. Ovary hormones made from cholesterol, hormone-free fats are important. Fats are important for ovary and adrenal type. So the minerals that you need. Liver has excess sodium. You need cruciferous for the potassium to offset the sodium. Thyroid, you need iodine, so eggs, yogurt, meat, fruit, alfalfa, sea kelp, all those are loaded in iodine. Adrenal needs potassium and calcium, so leafy greens and cruciferous vegetables. And we talked about this. Ovary, your color is red. You need iron. You need beets, apples, grapefruit, watermelon, blood red oranges, peppers, and you also need some iodine because your ovary types are hurting your thyroids too. So if you go to iodine, it's the eggs, yogurt, meat, fruit, alfalfa, sea kelp. Liver type. Liver regulates growth hormone, which controls blood sugar between meals. 3 meals per day, no snacks. Good breakfast with protein. Not a lot of protein, but you need some protein. Thyroid, eat between meals, raw nuts and seeds to regulate your sugar. What's the best raw nuts to eat? Smart group. Adrenals, keep protein in your body all day with small frequent meals. Ovary, protein and fat with breakfast is super important. So when I say fat, what do I mean? A big chunk of lard?
Coconut oil, extra virgin olive oil.
Yeah, avocado, nuts, seeds. And you can have some meat-based protein with fat in it. That's fine. Just, you know, not bacon. Well, maybe once a week. Once a week. Life's too short not to eat bacon. Okay, additional tips. Fermented foods like sauerkraut and yogurt, probiotics are super important for the liver. Okay? Thyroid, reduce your exposure to estrogen. Adrenal, a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar before bed to help your pH. Because remember the alkalinity? We talked about that and how it affects osteoporosis and muscle cramping, and calcium stays on the tissue, not in the tissue. Ovary, avoid exposure to estrogens, estrogen mimickers, all that stuff. Exercise. Liver. I feel like I'm talking to you like I'm calling you liver. Hey, liver. Trigger growth hormone with high intensity, short duration, PK intervals with weights, exercise. So you're going to be doing a lot of weightlifting, and when you're weightlifting, you're not walking around in between. You're going to lift real hard, wait a minute or two, lift real hard, get your oh my goodness, heart rate up. It's getting late. I've been here all day. Get your heart rate up, and same with the PK exercises. And again, we have a copy of what that is over there. So it's up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Heart rate up, heart rate down, heart rate up, heart rate down. Thyroid type PK exercises to increase the number of mitochondria. So intervals again. The adrenal gland. When your adrenals, depending on where you are, especially if you're a severely invested adrenal type, the last thing you want to do is a lot of exercise. Okay, your body's already wiped out and wasted, and the adrenal gland is a stress gland. So if you put physical stress on your body, what are you going to do to your adrenal glands? Make it worse. So walking, light pulse, low intensity to start. Between 30 to 60 minutes of aerobic is when your body, at about 30 minutes, is when your body switches from like about 40% at the most of burning fat to 95%. So between 30 minutes of aerobic exercise and the 60-minute mark is where you get your biggest bang for buck, where you're between 95 and 98% you're burning fat when you're aerobic. Okay? Now, that doesn't mean anaerobic is bad. The great thing about anaerobic exercise is that you burn no fat when you're working out, but if you eat right and sleep right, you burn fat for the next 14 to 48 hours, which is really good. Okay, ovary, walking, biking, a lot of lower body movement. The girls that just came from your classes, the aerobic classes and all those classes where you're doing a lot of kicking, and great for ovary types, great for really kicking in the fat. And then remember, the ovary type has the weight below the belly button and the hips and the thighs. Adrenal body type exercise, so avoid intense exercise. I just can't do it. Light enough, can breathe comfortably. Start with 15 minutes per day, walk up to 60 minutes, exercise every other day for the first couple of months. Snack on raw nuts, veggies, and apples before or even during your workout. If sore, don't work out again. If you're still sore, don't go to your next workout if you're an adrenal type. You have to grow back the muscle you've lost. Ovary body type. Use aerobic and anaerobic. The ovary body type has basically a green light. Daily anaerobic is awesome. Daily or every other day, aerobic is really good. Lower body exercise is the biggest return. The key is high intensity. Make it hard. Make your muscles around your hips, thighs, buttocks work super, super hard. Keep estrogen low. Eat anti-estrogenic foods. Avoid soy because it is one of the worst. Liver thyroid body type. Anaerobic only. 20 to 45 minutes max. Anaerobic initially uses sugar as fuel, stimulates fat burning by triggering fat burning hormones 14 to 48 hours post-exercise. So for the liver type, the thyroid type, and the ovary type, anaerobic is super, super good. Okay? And you're going to burn lots of fat. The problem is if you leave your workout and drink one of them silly drinks that are loaded in sugar, what did you just do? You just completely turned off the fat burning hormones and turned on the fat storing hormones. Sugar intake and stress must be low and sleep quantities really high. So you need to get plenty of sleep. It triggers the growth hormones. Short bouts of high intensity with rest between, and there's that PK again. Okay, anaerobic exercise routine. Keep it high, short reps. Rest 3 to 5 minutes between reps. Exercise no longer than 40 minutes. Do not work out daily, and that's for the liver type, that's for the liver thyroid type, not for the ovary type. Okay. Thyroid, snack on raw nuts, veggies, apples. Alternate upper lower body of sore weight until soreness goes away before you work out again to stimulate your fat burning hormones. Supporting glands for optimal healing and function. We're almost done. Oh, we are done. Hey, this is about it. That snuck up on me. Okay, so here's some things that you can do. Glands, the best way glands heal is to give them glandular support. Okay, so diet is the best. What you have to do for sure is you have to eat right and you have to exercise, get plenty of sleep. Okay, now beyond that, especially when glands are significantly damaged, they need what are called proteomorphogens, which are nutrients specific to the gland. They're literally glandulars. Okay, to heal. So it's like adrenal glandulars, thyroid glandulars, all that. Okay, so it's one of the most important things you can do. So thyroid, thyrotrophin, PMG, and prolamine iodine are super good to heal the thyroid gland. PMG stands for proteomorphogen. Ovary, there's some. Now, I wrote this down, and here's the thing about the ovary. It really depends on the individual situation. So don't take any of this without recommendations specific to you. Okay, it's very important you understand that. But chaste tree, tribulus, wheat germ oil, ovex, ovotrophin, PMG, because they need to be used in a specific way. For instance, if you're estrogen dominant, days 5 through of your cycle, days 5 through 14, you would take tribulus, and days 15 through and days 15 through 30 you would take chaste tree, because one supports the first part of the female cycle, which is the follicle stimulating part, and the other is the luteinizing hormone part. Okay, so you can't just mix and match how you want. You got to make sure you do it the correct way. The adrenal gland, desiccated adrenal, adrenotrophin, PMG, drenamin, Rhamani, ashwagandha. And again, with the adrenals, this is important because you only take one type if you have high blood pressure and another type if you have low blood pressure. So again, it's important. And then liver. Liver guys, you guys got it okay. Livoplex, AF beta food, it's great for all of them, and it's great to maintain liver health and well-being. So, that's a lot of crap. I don't mean in a bad way. I mean, that's a lot of information. Okay? So if you're confused, don't worry. God, I did get through it in an hour. Good. If you're confused, don't worry, because here's an opportunity for you. Okay? If you're not sure what you are, or you're not sure about what you're supposed to do with what you are, or if I put you to sleep, then you're an adrenal type. Yeah.
Oh, you're good.
Actually, she got it. Thank you. We have a sign-up sheet, and if you want, it would take literally 10 to 15 minutes of sitting down with you, and I can tell you exactly what you need to do. Okay, and then if you have questions, you can always follow up questions with me. But it's not nearly as hard as I made it out to be. But I didn't want to just say, okay, if you're a liver type, this is what you do. If you're adrenal type, this is what you do. I wanted you to understand what the symptoms were and how it occurs for each type, so that you're empowered to change it. Because here's what's going to happen. Okay, it's not by coincidence that most cancers are related to glands. Okay, and it's because we're putting damage on them. Okay, and we're damaging by how we eat and how we don't move. Okay, and everybody's liver, if you haven't cleansed, is toxic because of unless you're eating 100% organic diet, unless you're eating really good food all the time, drinking lots of fresh, crystal clear water, there's no way you can live in this society and not have a bunch of junk in your liver. It just doesn't work. And those of you that did it, don't think you're done for the rest of your life. You got to cleanse this thing regularly. You didn't just clean your house once and never clean it again, right? You got to clean this house regularly too, okay? I recommend cleansing at least once a year. I really do. For some people, more. If you want to sign up to go over what you want to do from here forward, and I'm not telling you what I'm telling you to do, what you want to do. I'll help you figure out what you want to do if you're confused, okay? And give you some guidance of how to do what you want to do.